Hey guys, I am Nishant, and now let's build a Google Docs clone using React, TypeScript, Firebase, and design, and let's see what else that we can use later. But first, let me just create a V tab, and yes, we will use TypeScript. So let me just grab the command, add it here, enter. Let's say docs clone, enter. We need React, we need TypeScript, and the boilerplate code is generated. So open code folder, and I think it will be here like docs clone. Yes, this one. Now to install all the dependencies inside it, let's say this dependencies. So open package.json, this file. Here we have the React and React DOM. We have to install this using npm i. So do it. It is getting installed. Yes. Meanwhile, if I open Firebase, I already have a project here because this project or this app I have already created. And I think if you go to FreeCodeCamp and in my blog handle on FreeCodeCamp, you can see this blog where I have wrote how to build a Google Docs clone with React, Material UI and Firebase. So you can also read that if you want the text version of this. So it's not perfect, but it's good. So let me just close this. I will leave the link of this blog in the comments or in the description. So here we have the docs clone. As you can see, we have a blank file where we can create a new doc, and yes, so all the packages have been installed. Now let's install these libraries like design and Firebase and SASS. So if I click get started, I'm in getting started. So I think it's in development, the command to add it. So we can say design Firebase and SASS, enter. By the way, we need one more library called React Quill, but we will install it later. Meanwhile, what we can do is create a file in the source folder called firebase config.tsx, and in the file we will have the configuration data for Firebase. So if you open the project overview and click settings here, like project settings, we should have some kind of what we can say, this data Firebase config. So we can simply add them here. We can remove this comment. So let me remove these. So we're getting this issue here because Firebase is still getting installed. If you hover it, we will see that cannot find module Firebase app or its corresponding type declaration. So we can wait for it, or we have to wait for it. So we can just export this app in order to just use it. So it is almost done. Output, where is it, the terminal? Yes, it is done. Now we have no errors. So let me clear the console or terminal. So we also need the Firebase authentication. So we can say import, we can say from Firebase /auth. From auth we need, what do we need? Get auth. Then we need import get Firestore from Firestore in Firebase. So we need auth for login, and we need Firestore to store data in the database. Let me create constants for this as well, like instances. So export const Firestore equals to get Firestore, and we have to pass this app inside, which contains this kind of data like API key, auth domain, and so on. Similarly, we can have export const, we can say auth, yes. So in the auth, we will have get auth, and we will again pass this app. Now we have done this. Let's add some folders. We can say SAS or not SAS. Let's say SCSS, and one more for components, one for pages. Fine. Let me leave it at that for now. Now we have to rename this index.css, or why don't we start the app first? So we can simply do npm run dev. Remember that we are using TypeScript, so let me create a folder here called interfaces. So we have made it. So open the app. Let me change the name of, let me close this and this. Let me change the name of the app to Google Clone 2.0. 2.0. Yes. If you can see the name at the top, it's changed. So we can close index.html, come to the app.tsx and rename this, or let me clear out these things first, like this a tag, the title, the card, and the p tag. So I need a div here. Yes, we don't need the count state and wait logo. So instead of app.css, we can make app.scss. Now rename the file, make it to scss. Yes, it's done. We will have a blank page here. Now let me start making this. So we need a white background here, or not white, it is white smoke. So basically here the color is 242424. Let me make this as white smoke. If you check here, the color will be changed to white smoke, and make the color as, let's say, black. So if you type anything in app.tsx, we should say text here in the black. But if you see that the color of this is different and the color of this is different, like all the documents that we have. So what, and the top bar as well. So basically we can leave color at this, but we will only change the color of create document section. Yes. So okay, let me also remove some things from here, like these kind of things, like all the a tags and whatnot. So we don't need. Remove. You check here, it will go at the top. So we need one more thing. Let me also remove the font family, line height, font weight, and all these things. So remove it. And okay, I think we should not remove the font family because we need to have an attractive font, fallback fonts. So add it here. So yes, it's done. Now let me open app.scss. Also remove all the things from in here. So we can make body. So we will target body. We will make margin 0 and padding 0. So if you see that this text is now having no margin and no padding. So if you make background color as, let's say, 212121, this will span the entire page. But the thing is, we need to have some height as well. So make height as 100 VH. So see, it is spanning the entire page with this text that it is black. We cannot see it. Remove background color as this, and we are good to go. We have our screen that in which we can create our app. So first of all, what we will do is we will have a component here for Modal. First, let me make it. So make a folder first. So make a folder here called Modal. In the Modal, we will have an index.tsx file. And now come to Ant design and come to components. Here we will have something called Modal. If you search here, okay, not here, in the components search bar. So we should have a Modal here. So if you open this, we can see it opening up. So just copy the code of Modal. Let me explain it afterwards. So just grab the whole code, paste it in this index.tsx, save it. So we have this React function component and is modal open and so on. So if you call this modal in our app.tsx, we will see a button, and on click of the button, the modal will open. So basically, we have modal which is getting triggered by this show modal function. If you run the function or when you click the button, this will set the is modal open to true, and hence it will open the modal. So what should we do now? So for now we can close this tab and okay. So let me create a page here for the home page. Like we have only one page, so we can make the page as, let's say, docs.tsx. Make it a functional component. So do we need React? Let me make it a FC as well, like React FC. 1 second. I think it only works with this. 1 sec. With a constant app. So let me change it. Okay, 1 second. Docs. Let me make a JSX element. What will happen if I do that? It is not working. So I think we should be after or before this. No, still not working. So maybe make this as a const and add a function. I am not so good with TypeScript, but I try. Okay, one more thing. Let me make this as modal, or we can say modal component, because we don't need name clashes, and just add this, I mean export it at the bottom. So we have docs, so we can say export default docs. Yes. Now as I said before that we need to have this react.fc here. Okay, here, yes. So add it. So we have the component type now, which is called FC, functional component. So we have this docs. Now what we can do is import the modal in here, or before that let me have this docs in the container like here. So we can say import docs from pages docs and return it in here in the fragment. Now if you check, you will see docs in here. So now let me import the modal in here. So import modal from, modal component, not modal, from this section and return it here. Now if you see that we have a button, if you click the button, the modal is getting opened. Now what we have to do is we have to send to the modal, I mean not the modal, the button, the entire thing. So in this pages we have docs. Let me give it a class name of, let's say, docs container. So if you just copy this, let me come to the SS folder, SCSS, and make docs.scss. So docs container, we have to use the docs.scss somewhere, so we have to import it. Let's say in this body, in this, I mean app.scss. So say import, okay, we can say scss docs.scss. Now we can use it. We have to first center all the things. So we can say display of flex, justify content center, align item center. The thing is, let's not do them here. Let's do it in the index.scss or here, because we have done the height of 100 vh here. So this container has a height of 100 vh, not this container, I mean in docs. So we can just remove them. And now let me also rename index.scss, I mean css to scss, and change the name in here. Yes. we have changed it, so close it. Close the main.tsx as well. Fine. So we have docs container, and in here we can simply write our data. By the way, in the docs, we will not use a self-closing modal component tag. We will use this. Let me explain why. Okay, we need to remove one from here. So we are using this because let's say that we have some data inside. Let's say we type I am Nishant. One second. What is the issue here? Okay. See, this type children string has no properties. So if I come, close this and this to modal, we need to get the children as props and just render it out at the place of this or these p tags. Now we have this problem. This does not exist on the type here. So what should we do is have a type here called prop type called modal props, and this prop we can use it while we're destructuring the children like this. Now since that we are having a functional component, we can use it here as well. So if you see that now we will have no errors, but in here, so we need the title, that we have this title here. If I remove it, the error should go away, but we need one title to show it in the modal. So we can pass it like props, and we can say title should be login with Google. Now you have to grab this title from the props, just as we have children, and simply render it at the place of button like this. Now we will have login with Google account or Google. Let's make the modal as centered, that it comes in the center, and we have children that we are passing it from here. Now what we can do is, okay, let me make the size of the button bigger. So the button size should be large. Sorry. So save it and it will be bigger like this. Or even what else do we have as values? So we have, okay, we have large, middle and small only, nothing else. So we have this. So in the modal, we can remove this text here, and we need to, okay, I think we don't need a modal. So let me set up the Firestore APIs for login with Google account. So in the source, make a file called API. In the API, folder, make a file called auth.tsx. So let me make a function called export const. We can say login with, in small letters, login with Google, an arrow function. Save it. Now we need a few things from Firauth. So import, we can say get auth. Okay, let's not do this. Let me import auth from Firebase config, and that's all we have to do for now. So let me just do a console log of auth and call the function in the index. Not in the index, in the docs.tsx. So import, the function name was login with Google. Fine. Now let me have our own function here called, we can say handle login. Lot of functions. So this will run this login with Google thing, that this function, whatever we have inside it. So let me pass this as prop as well, like handle login will be equal to handle login. Now this does not exist on the type in the modal, so we can just have it here. And what should we have this type as? So we can make a return type as void, I guess that's all. But what if I hover this? Children is declared here. Okay, property children is missing in the, wait a sec, what happened? Property children is missing in the type title string handle log title string handle login void but required in modal props. Okay, children is not missing, it's here. Maybe if I add this handle login here, what should happen? We have to read the value of this. So when we are having the show modal, okay, this OK button that we have here, which is called handle OK, which is just closing the modal. So we don't need to do that. We need to just run the function called handle login. Okay, one sec. Yes. Now again, the error is not away. So properties, okay, we have typed some children. So we can say I am Nishant. That is the issue. Yes. So that it has something in here. So I don't think we should have this here. So we have to remove this children from here as well and not return it something or anything. Just have a basic modal. But why do we need a modal? I don't think we need a modal. We need only a button. So it was dumb for me to create it. So when we click this button login Google, we should see a pop-up which is from Firebase. In that case, we don't need this kind of things. Not show modal and not close modal. So handle login will be on the button here. So we don't need the use state for now. So let's leave it. We don't need modal. So leave or we close it. So I think let me leave it at modal. Fine. So we don't need, what do we need? What don't we need here? Children. So children is not required here. So remove it. Fine. We have the button. All we have to do is do our stuff here. So if I open the console while clicking the button, we are getting this auth impl object. Basically, we need the, what do we need is current user, which is null, because this is because we are not logged in. See, if we log in, this should be our data, our user data from Firebase. So let's do that. Come to authentication, sign in method. It's enabled the Google method of sign in. So we need a few things. So import, we can say first add from Firebase /auth. Okay, so we need, what do we need? Login. What is it? The name of the function is sign in with pop-up. Yes, this function. And we already have the auth. So we need to pass this auth.current user here. And what is it? Expected to 3 arguments, but got one. So we need the auth that we have passed. Then we need the provider. Yes, we need the provider. So let me create it. Okay, so we can just have it here. Let provider equals to new Google auth provider. It will be automatically imported. But I think the route is wrong. Firebase auth this should be correct now. So yes, we have to pass auth.current user, not current user, just the auth, then the provider. And we should have no issues now. And we should have third thing as well, I guess, which is the callback function. So we can set response and we can log this response in the console. We need to have the type here. So this should be an object. So let's try this up. Click login with Google. CLS is not a constructor. Okay, I guess the function needs to be asynchronous. We need to await something from here. No, it is not done. So let me check documentation for Firebase. Let me have somewhere here web. So we have done this. Create user with email and password. We don't need this one. Fine. We come down. Should have this Google login. Yes, we need this. So we have Google Auth provider from this, and this we have done. New Google Auth provider. Then we need to have, okay, the thing is this will not take a callback function. That was the issue. So what does it take then? So we can just remove these things and simply do a dot then as a promise or as a promise. So dot then we can say response, and then okay, let me make this as response. Then we need to have the credential token and things. So let me make a user variable called response.user and simply do a console of this in the console. I mean log this in the console. Now let's try this. Click this. You will see that we are opening this, we can say Modal with the app name. So let me sign in with my email called nishantas440@gmail.com. So it will take some time, and when we are logged in, we are getting this kind of data like auth, metadata, and the display name, email, the image link, which is the photo URL, and so on. So yes, that is how we log in with Google account. Okay, now what we have to do is, I don't think we need a function here, then block. So just remove it. What we need is, okay, what do we need is an export. Okay, I don't think we have to use it here. Or should we use it here? Let me create it here. Export. We can say auth. What can we name the function? Auth check. Yes, I think that's proper. What I'm doing, export const auth check, and then we should have one more function here called what is the name, on auth state changed, which is basically checks the state of the authentication, whether we're logged in or not. We can pass the auth variable in here, and yes, this will take a callback function. But I think we should not have it here. We should have it in the docs file, so that we only see the modal when we are not logged in. But I guess this also works. So we can say response here as well, and we can log this response in the console. Now just have to call this function in the docs when we mount our component. So we can make a use effect hook. So have a use effect. So have a use effect which runs when we mount our component. So we need auth check from here and run the function in here. Let's see, refresh the page. On line number 16, this line we are getting this response from authentication, which is the user data basically. So if this exists, we have to hide the button of login with Google account, else show the button. So make a set here called is authenticated set is auth. Just make this. So use state we can say false. Now just pass the setter function in here, or we can do one more thing that is better than doing this. Make a folder here called hooks. Make a hook called use check auth.tsx. Let me make a functional component in here. So for now we don't need React here, so remove it. So let me grab the state that we made it in here, paste it in here, then return the state. So return it is authenticated. Now also we need this function. So just cut it and have it somewhere here. But we need a use effect hook. Yes, use effect should be here for our custom use check auth. So we don't need the function name because it will not be proper. So we need on or state change from Firebase auth. So have it at the top. Don't need these two. Now we need to use set auth when we have response. We also need auth from Firebase config. So get it and paste it here. Save this. We don't need this on auth state changed. So also close this. We need use state hook from React. Import it. And this response should have a type of user or null. So we can just type any to fix this. It can have any type. Or what if we add a user type here from Firebase auth? No, this is not the type. It is something else. So where to get the response user? So we have to make the entire things here like access token and so on. So I guess it will be not proper for us. Just make any and leave it. So we don't need auth check here. We don't need the use state hook here. So remove this kind of stuff. Not this needed. This is not needed. Yes. Now what is needed is need to call this hook in here. So we can also remove used effect and simply call the hook. So hook name is called, what is it? Use check auth. Use check auth from here. It is returning us this is authenticated property. Let is authenticated from use check auth. And if we just do a console of this, we should see this here. So basically, one second, this is false. Okay, what we can do is if this is true or I am setting it wrong, we can say if response is here, set it to true, else set to false. So this should be false. Okay, I guess this should be in else block, not here. Save. So if I refresh the page, this will be true because we have logged in. Now we need to show this modal only when we are not logged in. So if it is true, hide it, else, but if it is not true, then hide it. So negate the state and make an empty fragment here. So you will see nothing here because we are now logged in. So let me make one more state here called, we can say const user data. Set user data equals to use state. This will be an object. So when response exists, we will set the response in here and return this state so that we have something to show in here. So we can just destructure it from here. Okay, if I just do this, we should see our data. Now in the docs, we have the top bar here, which contains our user image. So at the top, we have to make a component. So make a folder called top bar. And in the top bar, let me make a index.html. tsx here. So function component, they should be, make this as top bar. Let me import this top bar in the, 1 second, let me clear this, in the docs.tsx. Import top bar from this. So what we have to do is, when the is authenticated is true, it means we are authenticated. We need to show some other things like this top bar. So if I check, we should see the top bar in here. If I close this, okay, we have to do some things. So if I come, 1 second, in the top bar that we are having, they should be on the top. So let me have a file in here called, let's say, index.scss, so that we write our styles in here. Let me import this file here and give it this a class name of top bar. So let me have this here and say position absolute top 0. Okay, not 0, just 10 pixels. Yes. So we don't need some text, so just remove the text. We need this thing, this background color, which is white. So make background color as white, or white smoke. What about this? No, I think we need to give some height and width. So width should be 100%, height should be 40 px. We have some issues. Let me make this as black color for now. Okay, this will come like this. So I guess top should be 0. I mean, not 10, 0. Yes. And the thing is, width should not be here anything. So if I remove width, okay, it will be like this. I guess, yes, we have to do left as 0 as well. Now it is sticking at the top like this. So make the width as 60. So we have a top bar here, or even increase it to 80, it will increase. The color should be not white, they should be somewhat gray. Not white smoke, it's not visible, so make it a little bit gray. I think that's fine, but it's too much. Okay, I guess it's not too much, it is fine. So revert it back to white smoke, because if you see that this section is a little bit gray, that is why we are having this difference in visualization. So in the top bar, we are having the user image at the very right. See here. So we can add that. So we need to pass the data of the user in the top bar. Let's pass it. We don't need this one. So let me have this user data. So the thing is, we have to create a prop out of this. So why don't we pass one thing at a time, that things we only need. Like if you console user data and check it in the console, we need the only thing that is photo URL for now, which is a string. So we can say photo URL data of user dot this. Now come over here, destructure it. Let me make a type here. Type user, I mean not top bar, props. So photo URL will be a string. Then feed this prop here. Save. This should be used. So I will use it later, but we have some issues in here. It does not exist on type this. So maybe add a question mark here. Okay, do we have this? Yes, we have this, but photo URL does not exist in type empty object. So we can say as an object. No. Again, an issue that we are having. So let me just make an image tag. The source of this, give the class of the image as, let's see, top image. We need to decrease the width and height of this because it will be big like this. See, so come into top bar and say top image. We have to make this on the right as well. So position absolute right 10 pixels, top 10 pixels. So width should be, let's say, 20 pixels. So small, we can see, try 60 and that's fine. And we can say border radius 50% to make it rounded. So now we have our image here. So what we can do, make top, right as 20. Yes, that looks fine. Now, what is the issue here that I am not getting it? Photo URL does not exist in type this. Yeah, so the fix is, we just need to add this photo URL in the state here. That is what it is saying. So add photo URL and empty string initially. Now no errors will be here. So save this. That we have top bar. We need to have a search bar, but we can cut later. So we can have this docs icon and this text. So in the top bar, let me close this, use checkout. Let me have a p tag that says docs. That will be here. So we can say, or yes, we can say class name will be title or top title. So have a class name in the top bar here. So we can say margin left 20 pixels. Okay, we have this. Let me change the font size. So font size 24 pixels. This should be big. Yes, it is big now. We can have the icon, which is this. Basically it's an image. So open image in the new tab and we can have this, or we can search on Google for Google Docs icon PNG. Let's try from icon 8. Is it the same? Yes, but we need the colored one. So let's have this icon. Download this. We need PNG. Download. Now let me grab this and just add this in the assets folder. Rename this to docs icon.png. So we have this docs icon. Let me import it here. Docs icon from assets / this file. Now this icon should be on the left of this p tag. So we can add one more image tag with source, which will be docs icon. Save. But the thing is, this is very big. Let's make it small. Okay, no need to have a note here. Yes, so we need to make it smaller. Okay, I need to close the note. Okay, close it. So yes, make it small. So have a class name here called docs icon. Copy this class name, come to index.css and say width 30px, height 30px, but make this 70. Yes, it's now big. We need some margin. So margin, let's say, what is the margin that we gave here in the top title, 20px? So give the same in here. Yes, it is, by the way, left. We need from all the sides like this. So now we have to align them in a flex mode, the image and the p. So wrap it in a div, and here we can say class name of top left or top bar left. Now in the class of top bar, let me have this. So we can say, okay, display of flex, align items, center. So we don't need margin here, add margin in here. Neither from here this. So remove margin left as 20 px. So we can add a gap between them. So say 30 px. That is a little bit much. So make 20 px. But I think 20 is also too much. So make 15. I think that's perfect. Also, docs icon is having 70 and 70 height and width, but this is having 60 px. So basically make it 60 so that our image icon and this docs icon matches. And since that we are having margin as 20 px, here make top as 20 as well. Yes, that is done. So if I just, one sec, let me make the margin as 15 here. And now in the top bar, change the color to, let's say, 212121. So it will be like this. So I guess height should be a little bit more, say 100 px. Yes, that's perfect. Or even more, 120 or 110. Yes, I think that's fine. Yes, correct. Or what we can do is just have display of flex here. Or even if we remove it, I think it still works. Yes, it will work. Fine. So let's leave it at that. Make it 10 and see what happens. That's perfect. Change this back to white mode. See, we have the icon and the docs icon here. Now we need the second section here to start a new document. So let's build it. Let me make a component here in the components folder called, let's say, docs. So make a new folder here called docs or document. Okay, the icon will be like this. Fine, no problem. In this, let me make a file called index.tsx, and for styling as well, index.scss. So in the tsx, let me import, just have this, and this name should be document. Let me import the SAS file. Import this file. Save and save this as well. Okay, save it. Now this docs that we have, where we are having top bar, let me move this top bar in here. So in the div, add it. So we need the, this photo URL. So we'll pass it as props. So we can just import this docs, not docs, document from component document, and render it out in this fragment. One second. Yes. Let him pass the photo URL as prop. Let me close this. So we need the, so if I come, like we are passing this, what is this? Photo URL in this document. What we can do is just go to this top bar, have this as a interface. So if I just cut it or copy it, come to interfaces, let me make the interface as top bar.tsx. So if I just paste it here, we should have no errors. Now let me import the top bar in here. So import top bar from this, and we also need this. So we have to destructure it from the props as well. So yes, do it. And we need to send the photo URL only. Save, and this error will be like we have to assign the top bar prop. So if I just come over here and add this type as this interface type. Okay, we need only one of these, so we will have no errors now. So we can remove React for now, but let's leave it. So we have top bar, which is having, let me also remove this. Yes. So basically what we are having is this type of top bar which contains the photo URL of string, which is an interface. So okay, it's not an interface. If I come over here and change this to interface, now this will be an interface. Save. But I guess that's the same thing that we had previously, only the name has been changed. The function is same, so we don't need top bar import here, so delete this. Yes, we are having this document dot photo URL where we are passing the photo URL that is coming in the top bar, and we are passing it further so that we can see, so that we have a common component. Now, as I said previously, that we have to make this screen, like this part. So let me make a component here as well called, so we can say create document, make a folder, create doc. In this we can make the same thing, like one index.tsx and one for SCSS. So make it create doc and simply then import the styling file here. Yes, like this. So now we need to have this component in the top, not top bar, not button. Yes, I have to rename the button from the modal because it is a button all right, not a modal. So now in the document, let me have this create doc and return it here, so that we will see this here. Now the thing is, in the create doc, okay, let me come to app.scss. Let me remove flex display content, Java content center and line item center, so that it goes somewhere. Okay, it's hidden. So what we have to do, come to the we can say top bar class styling. We can remove these things. Let's see what happens. Now we will see it, because okay, we don't need position absolute and such things. And one more thing is that we are now seeing a scroll bar, so it is because of this. So we can just do this as an auto and it will go away. So we have create doc where we can just create this kind of template. Fine. So let me close this as well. Okay, open the create doc. Here we have to do this. So remove the text, static text. And now what we can do is just type something like a p tag. And in the p tag, we will have start a new document as it says here. Let me give this div a class name of, we can say, new doc container. Now let me copy this class, come over here and just make background color of gray. So this will be in gray color. Let me tweak the color to make it a little bit more lighter. Say this. I think we need to go a little bit more light. This. Now we have to give some height in this, or we can skip height. We can just make this kind of stuff. So come to index.tsx space here, and we can just okay, if you see that this start any document is in the, like, it's here, so we can also do width 90%. Let's see what happens. Okay, this will do this. Instead, we can just wrap this in another div like this. So in this div, we will have a class name of new doc. Let's say inner. So just copy this new doc inner, come over here. Let's nest it inside. So we can say width 60%. This will not change anything. I don't know why. This should shrink in the middle. So we can say display of flex. Justify content center. Yes, now it is coming like here. But 60 is, I think, too small or too big. So we can make it 70. Yes, I think that is fine. So yes, let me also change the color a little bit more lighter, in lighter version. I guess that's proper, but still we can tweak this a little bit more. So move the marker like this. I think this is what we can have. Maybe a little bit more. Let's check. Yes, that's now perfect according to me. So we have this start a new document. We need the card, so we can just make a component as well here. Or we can skip making components. We can just have, we can say a div here with the class name of new or start doc. In this, we can have a plus icon just like this, and after that we can have a text called blank. So it says here, see this text. Now let me check the output. Now we have to make one more div inside for the card for new document. So we can say class name start doc card. Yes. So copy this class name, come over here, and in the doc inner we can just make this. So basically we need width, say 100 px for now, height 150 px, color or background color, say white smoke. Yes, it is like this, but the width should be, let's say 200. 200 is too much, make it 150, and make the height as 200. Now it is very much like this. Yes. So what we can now do is have this plus icon in the middle. So we can go to React icons and install this as well. Library. Now if I just open the terminal and just add it here, it will take some time, so let's wait. It's installed. Delete the terminal, kill it. Now we need the icon of plus. So we can have this plus icon, but we can do it like this. So if I search Google Docs add icon, let's see what we get. If I open images, no, we are not getting what we want. Google Docs plus icon. Let's try this one. Let me open the all version. I guess we can't get it because it is made inclusive of this. Okay, I think, can we download this? If I inspect this, we have the image source. Okay, if I just open it in a new tab, okay, it is like this. So we can just use the image at the place of this. So if I close this, I mean at the place of this card. So let me just try this. Save the image, save it. Let me drag this image to the assets folder. Let me rename. We don't need to delete it. We rename this to add doc.png. So let me import this here. import add doc from assets. Okay, assets slash add doc dot png. Let me use this image. Comment this for now. Make an img tag with the source of this image and save this. Let me check. It is very big, so we can just tweak this to make it smaller, and the quality is not the same, but if I make it small, the quality will be like, it will be fine. So we can say start doc. We can just use this class. Now come over here, we can have start doc class. Width should be say 150 px. Yes, it's now shrinked. So it is basically like this, but the blank text is hidden, so we need that as well. So remove the rest of the things and have the blank text here. Yes, but it is sticking to the image. So I guess what we can do is we have blank, so we can just add the title here. So we can say doc title or title. So in here we can say title, margin top minus 10 pixels, negative space we need. Okay, too much. If I try, I think I try 0, it will be fine, or even 5. Yes, that's perfect. Blank. Now let me grab some fonts here from Google Fonts. So we can say fonts.google.com. Come over here. Let me check the font here in the Google Docs. It is Google Sans, and I think we have Roboto, but basically it's Google Sans. So can we get the font here? If I search Google, we don't have Google Sans, we have Noto Sans, so we can use that. So yes, let's create a font import from Noto Sans. If I come down, let me come down, choose the light font, let's say. Let me remove the extra fonts like Ubuntu and all. This as well. Now let me choose the font here. So we need regular, yes. We need light, we need medium, we need semi-bold, and we need bold. Now let me copy the import, paste it in the CSS file. Let's say where we can paste it. So in SCSS we have docs or app. We can simply paste it here so that we can use it. Now we need to add the font family as Noto Sans in the container here, so that everything will get the font. If I check the font here, it will have Noto Sans. Let me do the same thing in the top bar page. So if I come to top bar here, or we can just apply the styles globally. So we can just do it here. Now it will be like the same we have here and here and there. We can delete this from here and nothing will change because we have now global styling for the font. Now that we have this in the title, or maybe okay, in the start doc, we have to make cursor as pointer. So here this should be cursor as pointer. Now this will be a pointer cursor. And if you see that we have a border around this, or when we hover, so let me add a border 1px solid, say 212121, just for instance. I mean, it is too much. Let's decrease the opacity of this. So just drag the marker, very find proper. Little bit more. Let's say this. I think that is not fine. We need a little bit more, like black color. Okay. So what happening? Drag it here. BC BC BC. Yes, I think that's now perfect. but it is rounded around, so we can make around like border radius 3 pixels. Yes, it is now rounded. Now what is happening when we hover this? The color is changing to blue. So let's do that as well using the hover selector. Hover, and in here we can just change the border. Nothing else. So border, say we can choose a blue color. Say this. Save. It is changing, but it is too much, so we can just decrease the opacity. Save. Okay, it is not working. Yes, I think this is still too much, so do this. I think this is fine for us. Okay, it looks fine. If it looks fine, then it looks fine. What if I make this as 2px solid and this? Okay, this will break or not be proper, so make 1.5 and see. Okay, let's leave it at 1. So we have start a new document and the blank text here. Now the next step is when we click this blank document, let's see what happens. So we will open this page here. So let's do this. Let me have a function here. Say const is edit or create, the same thing. Set is edit. So equals to use state. Use state. It will be false initially. So we have a state. Now we will see this only when it is false, and we will show this when it is true. So we can say const handle edit. It will be a function, arrow function, and in this we will simply change the is edit. I mean, we will simply, okay, we need only one curly bracket. I don't know why I added two. So basically we'll just revert the state of is edit when we run the function, and the function will run when we click the image here. So we can just make on click this, save. Now click this. Okay, we need to add, we need to add the like conditional. So if this is true, we will show something else, we will show something else. So let me make a component here called, okay, we have create doc, so I think we can make it here, or create doc, let's make edit doc. Edit doc, yes, make one index file inside. This is just a baseline implementation of this, so you can have your own features or component names or infrastructure or architecture. We can make this as edit doc. I am doing this according to me. Let me have a styling file here called index.scss. In the edit doc, we can have the class of this styling. So just import this. Now let me import the edit doc in here in add doc. Import edit doc from this, and yes, when is edit is true, we will return this component, else we will return these things. So click this and everything will hide, and we have to also just pass a function as props in here. Let me get the prop here. Yes, so this handle edit is basically a function, so we can make a prop type here. So we can say type, we can say edit doc, prop or props equals to this. So if I hover this, we will see it is declared, but the value is not read. So I mean, just let me bind this on this div for now. Now if I hover this or come over here, one sec. We need to have, okay, what is the problem here? We have to add a type here. So this is basically a function. So we can say handle edit. The type will be void. I mean, we will have return type as void. Let me have this type in here. And now we have no edit. So let me remove this React import. Let me just have this in our interfaces. So we can say, let's say, okay, let me change this to interface. And okay, we need to have the type as function interface. So we can just have it or basically add it here and it will read. Now we can just, okay, I have installed React icons. So we can also have a back icon. So let me create it. Let me go back to React icons. Have a back icon here. So anyone we can choose, let's say BI arrow black. Import this icon from React icons /bi. Let me render the icon here. Save. Click this and we will have the bike icon here. Let me add the size of this icon. So size should be this should be, let's say 30. It is not big. Add a class name. So the class name should be class name React icon. Now copy this class name. Okay, one second. We have the top interface. We have the top bar. Let me rename this to common, or just if I try making it as index, will it work? Yes, it is working. So basically we will have only one interface file where we can add all the interfaces. So we have React icons in the edit doc. Let me add this here. Position as absolute. Left we can say 30px. By the way, we don't need this, just we can add margin as 40px. So we can have it here. Fine. So we have this back icon. Let me add cursor as pointer, so that if we hover, the cursor will change to pointer. Now we need this function handle edit on this icon. So simply add it. Now if I click the back icon, we will have this screen like this. It will toggle between this and this. Now in the screen, we need to have this edit page document. So where we can type something. Let me now come to React Quill. We have this library, which is an editor basically. So we have to install this as well in our example app or docs. So add it. Now if I see, we need to import the CSS for this. So we can just import it in the let's say main.tsx here. Quill.snow.css. Then import React Quill where we want to use it. So we need to use it here. So import this. Click it, and now we can simply add the React Quill here. I mean return it. So after BI arrow black, let me have this React Quill. We need value and set value. So we can add them here. We need the use state hook from React. import use state hook from React and save. Now we'll have this where we can type whatever we want to type. By the way, let me make, okay, I think we can leave it at that. But the thing is, should we? Yes, I think we should. So whatever we type in the box here, it will reflect in the state called value. Now, what we can do is create a hook for this. So let's do use quill.tsx. Let's make a functional component here. Use quill, not, I think the spelling is not correct. Use quill. Let me add an I here. That's now fine. Let me have the state in here called value and set value. So we have to import use state from React. Now also have this React quill, cut and paste this in here. Save, we need the quill import, so just have it here. Save. So we don't need to have the use state hook, so remove it. Now we have to return the value, but the thing is, okay, we have to just return what is I am doing here. Okay, we need to return. Okay, it will not work because we have this, so we can just, let me just have this here. Delete this because it will not take the JSX element. Fine. So let me do some things here. First of all, we need to have a div around the React quill. And in this div, we can say make a class name of quill container. Let me copy quill container, come to docs, and here we can do our stuff. So we can say width should be 80%. So this will be like this. We need to make this in the center. So first of all, give this div a class name of edit container. So come over here in the, at the top, let me go to the top, edit container. We can say display of flex, justify content, what is happening, center. Now it is center, but the thing is, it is like this. So we can make flex direction as column. So if I am making this, so this should be align items because they will shift. Align items as center. The thing is, this will be like this now. Let me just make this as 90%. Remove the margin from here. Okay. We have to make this stick on the very left. So let me have margin top here like 30px. And in here we can just do position absolute left 0, maybe not, make it 20, or let's say 40 or 50. Yes. And bottom, okay, not bottom, this will not work. So in order to work, we can, yes, we can do margin bottom here 30px. Maybe increase margin top here, so make it 60, because this will have the margin from the parent element, which is this entire doc. So I guess that's fine, but here we can just leave the left to 30 or 20. I think that's perfect, or it's fine. So we have this document, and if you see, the color of the document is not white, so you can change it. What if I make this as 95%? I think that's perfect. One more thing that I want to do is remove the border around this quill. So we can say border as none, or maybe the outline as none. But it will not work unless we give an important property here. I think here as well. No. So if I check React quill, let's see the class name that we can use to change the this, we can say border and something like that. So we have this. Okay, we have the not for anything regarding CSS. So we can, okay, we have to have a class name in here. So we can say React quill, and using this class name we can set it border 0 and margin whatever, not margin, border and outline. So we can say React quill, just have these two things in here, but it will not work. So one more thing I can do is just inspect this and see this class is called QL editor and QL blank. So let me grab these classes, replace this React quill class, one dot we need here. If I check here, box sizing, border box, we need this, outline as none is fine, padding, okay, we need this text line, what about this word wrap? We have one more class here which is called QL container and this. So in here do we have something like this? What if I remove every class in here? Oh, it will not still work. So we have QL snow. Let's try this. Yes, we need, I think, this. If I uncheck the border will go away. So let me have it here. I mean this class name. We have an extra this, so remove it. Now we have no borders and we can type anything we want in here. So what about the toolbar? The same thing we can do with toolbar. If I just remove the border from toolbar, it will go away. So let me also grab the toolbar class. So let me add them here. We don't need QL snow. Let me have these two in here. Now we have no borders around that can rule us. So remove important and this as well. This and this. I guess we don't need important. Okay, I think we need this QL snow. Okay, what if I add this? No. Okay, we don't need this. Ah yes, it's perfect, fine now. So we can type anything in here. So let me go back, come to the front. So if you see that we don't see our cursor when we load our quill. So what we can do is see how to do that. So if I come to the document, it is getting like the cursor is here. So we can say, let me check on Google, highlight cursor in React quill. So is this way what we need? Highlight cursor in React quill when component loads. Use ref to manipulate React quill. Yes, we can use this if we have something in here. So we need to have used reference hook. This is not giving us the things we want. We have this editor. Okay. Guide to highlighting syntax in React, or syntax highlighting. We have prism.js. That's not what we need. Okay, let's try using React use ref hook. So have use ref from React. Let me create a reference called quill ref equals to use ref. This attach this ref to this quill ref. I mean React quill. Okay, we can make this as null here. Fine. And when we mount our component, we have to add the reference highlighting it. So we can say, just say quill ref dot current dot, we can say focus. We have an error. Quill ref is possibly null. So we need to have this when we are making the reference for quill. So if I hover this, what is this? React dot mutable ref object. So we can say React dot, let me wrap this in this, I guess. Okay, what was it again? If I just, okay, let me see 1 second. Yes, so we can just make this as anytime for now. We can change it later. So we have no errors now. Now we don't need this fonts. And if I go back, click it, we can have the arrow, I mean this cursor, highlighted like this. We can type anything we want. Now we can add different toolbars here. Like this we have for font sizes, bolding it, italic it, underlying it, checking the font. So we can just have, I mean go back to React quill. Here we can just have the toolbars. So do we have toolbar option here? We can say custom toolbar. Click it. Custom toolbar example. Let's try this API. This is for the quill, not for React quill. So if I come like custom HTML toolbar, we are having this toolbar here. So it is here, it is a, we can say a object or a function which has all the data. So what we can do is, okay, we can pass modules and formats, but we need a little bit more. So let's try example code here. Then let me try this code. Okay, let me have this toolbar for React quill toolbar module. Yes. Let me see how it works. So we can have this toolbar options, and we can just pass the toolbar option as toolbar. So let me have this somewhere. So let me make a file here in the source folder called, for a folder first. So we can say toolbar here, this toolbar. Make a file called index.tsx, so that we have this array and we can import it. So first export this. Let me import this. What is the name? Toolbar options. Import toolbar options and just hook this toolbar in the React quill. So do we have toolbar here? Let me check. We can have modules. Let's try modules. In the modules, we can have this toolbar options. Okay, it is getting hidden. So in the module, we have toolbar and then the toolbar option. But the thing is, this will not work because it's not React. It is just JavaScript. So how to add it? Let me just cover through this. We have this, or just we can search adding toolbar in React. So let me try this Medium article. I think yes, this is what we need. So this is the quill from, okay, we need quill from React quill. So have it here. Then what we need is, if I go down, we are having all this quill things. Okay. Okay, we need the React quill anyways. So I think we need the module and formats. So let me add module and format. So what is modules? If I check what is modules, it is coming from editor toolbar. So I think this is a file of editor toolbar. Yes, that's correct. So we are having modules here. So let me have modules in the toolbar first so that we get it. So we have to get the modules from here. Or why don't we just copy the entire, we can say the entire toolbar. So just copy this, paste it in the toolbar.tsx. We don't need React for here, so remove. We are having some issues like this and that. So let me remove the things that we don't need. So the thing is, this we don't need, so you can just add quill.history.undo. But what is this quill? Let me come to the top. We are having this undo icons svg here, these two icons, and if I come down, we need the size. Okay, we need quill, this, that, and so on. So let me not have the undo icons because it will take some time that I don't have. This is just a simple app. So this is the sizes, fine. We don't need handlers for undo and redo, so remove them. What else we can remove? These buttons, yes, remove them. Now let me come to the format section, also import it. Yes, now we have no errors, and if I check, we can see nothing, so that's an issue. We open the inspect, let's see what we get. Class list is empty. 1 second. Okay, what we can do, come here. One sec. Let me put editor toolbar and these things in this file. Editor toolbar. Now we have to use it just like we are using it here. I think this hides the existing toolbar, and we will have a new toolbar here like this, which contains the new things that we have. Like we can add the font. So to add a font, we can just add it somewhere here. Is the styling correct? Let me check. I think yes, it is fine. So we can tweak the styling. So if I change the font will change. Okay, but we don't have these fonts. You can add your own font like options and fine, like tweak those fonts according to this. So what we can do, we have sizes as well. So if I make size 3, it will be smaller. If I make size 4, it will be bigger. See, we can have heading, subheading, and normal. We can make bold, italic, underline these things. This is uh, giving a line in between the text. We have centered, I mean this list, bold, not bold. What is this? Ordered and unordered. We have superscript and subscript, so on the things that we have. We can also choose the color of the text. So if I make it red background, this will be red. Fine. So we can delete this. So pretty much it is done. The only thing is what extra things. Okay, I think that's done. So close this. Fine. Now the next step is not to have this kind of things here. So close them. Okay, we have this cool.snow.css. What if we put it in the edit doc? What will happen? Nothing will happen. So don't need that. Fine. So close this article. Now, what we need is API for adding data to Firestore. So open Firestore now, not LinkedIn clone. So click. Okay, let me click Google Docs here. What we can do now is, oh, okay. What we can do is get the data from this. So in this React, let me give the class name of React Quill here. Type string is not assignable to blah blah blah. So React Quill, okay, I guess this is fine. So the Quill container that we have, we can add some class names in here. Like we can add font size as 30px. That will not work because it is custom font size that we are having. So I guess that's fine. Click it and we can type whatever we want in here. Fine. Yes, so I was saying that I need to get, or we need to get the data from this toolbar. So const, let's say, okay, we already have it. Sorry, I don't know where my mind is, but it's fine. So we have the value here. Now we have to store a few things that is in the Firestore database. So let me make a function for this now in the API folder. So auth we don't need, we need one called firestore.tsx. So let me just have the Firebase auth import in here. Then we need add doc function. So import add doc from Firestore. Then we need collection to create a collection in the Firestore. Let me create a collection here called, we can say doc collection, or just say docs equals to collection. This will take the auth, basically not auth, sorry. We will have database or Firestore. So this will take the Firestore, comma, the collection name. So we can say docs. Now we have to make a function here. So we can say export const add doc, or let's say edit doc. This basically. Let me make create doc first to create a document for a current user. So this will take the add doc function and the docs, which is the collection name, and we need one more thing that is called the data. So let's say that we get the payload from the params. So this will be, we will add the type later. So just let me have the create doc in the edit doc function, in the doc component. So import create doc from Firestore. So C should be small. Create doc. Yes. Create. What is happening? We need a proper import. Yes. Let me make a function now. So the function should be function. We can say add doc data. So this function we will run in a special case, but first let me have a payload object in the function. Let payload equals to, so first we will have the value, then we can have the current username. So what we can do is import auth in here, and okay, we need to just pass the value in here. Nothing else, I think. Okay, I think let's just have the value and pass it in the create doc function. So the payload will come in here, and we have to make the type of this payload as well. So basically, first let me have payload as an spread object, and we'll have the rest of the things, the name and the data for the user. So we can say user name. This will be okay. We don't need auth here, I guess. So okay, I think yes, auth will work. So we can say auth dot current user dot display name, which is the username of the current user. So I think we need to add the type of payload. So if I add type payload type, so basically the payload is containing the value, which is a string. So make this as a string, just have the payload type as in here. Fine. Okay, we can just copy this, but I think I am not, I don't want to do it. Fine. So we are having the value passing from here to here. So what else we can do is run the function when we stop typing, basically use debouncing. So let me make a function here, or basically I use effect hook for debouncing function. So this will run. Okay, first we have to, yes, this will run when our value changes. So what we can do is let me create a function in here. So we can say const debounced equals to set timeout. Am I doing it correctly? So let me pass the delay here, let's say 200 or 2000 milliseconds. So basically when we stop typing for 2 seconds, we will save our data in the Firestore. So we can simply call the function. But if we type anything in the span of 2000 milliseconds or 2 seconds, we will not call the function debounce. So we can say clear timeout this debounced, and we will simply return it. Yes. So that is how our debounce function works, I guess. So we can just give it a try. So let me type something like, let me go back, come to the front and say hello, this is Nishant. Now let's wait for some time, and if I just refresh this, this should save. Let's check. You have docs, correct? The value is initially empty and then we get it. So that is the problem here. If I just change it, it will create a new document in here. That is the problem. So what we can do is to fix it when we, so yes, we can do is, what we can do is if we click this button of plus, we should create a document. So I guess this stuff should not be here. This should be in the, let's say in here, in the create doc function. So when we click the image, we are triggering handle edit, and in that case we can create it. So let me create a hook here for the debounce function. So we can say use debounced debounce.tsx. So as usual, make it a functional component, and let me just grab these things like the use effect hook from here, paste it, import the effect hook. What else we need? We need the add doc. So add, I mean just, we can pass the function as just, we can pass the function, yes. So we need to pass the function as props. We also need the value, so add it here, fine. So yes, we need types here for these two, so we'll create it, and we need to store this debounced in a state. So make it const, we can say, but I think this is not what we need. So when we are having, okay, we need to just comment these two for now. So use effect we need, we don't need create doc here. So close this file for now, close edit doc, create doc, this kind of things. So yes, let me have the add doc function here. So import add doc, no, the function name is create doc from API Firestore. We also need debounce function from the hook, so import use debounced. So this is basically a hook. So I think something I'm doing wrong here, which is this should not be a hook, this should be simply a function. Okay, so when we are clicking the button of handle edit and going into this page, we should create a document under that username and the, we can say data, the value. So what we can do is, just have the use effect hook in here, import the effect hook, use effect, yes. So we can remove react from here because it is not needed. We now have the add doc data function, so also import it. It is not create doc, okay, one sec, add doc data, so basically it is create doc, yes. So this is taking one argument called payload. So let's add the payload where we need to create the payload. So let payload equals to value as empty string, because yes, we don't need this value. Okay, one second, what I'm doing, I don't get it. In this case, we don't need a debounce function, so we can clear it out. Maybe I am also confused in creating this. We need just the payload and call the create doc function to save the instance of the current document. So yes, Now we can delete this used bounced component or hook, whatever it is. Now in this edit doc, let me bring back the things that we had, like this debounced function. So let me delete all the documents from here. Now if I click this blank doc, this should create document in here. Click it. Now if I give it a refresh, let's see what we get. So basically we're getting two documents here because we have this function getting called in here as well. So we have two docs with different IDs. So shall we try again? Yes, we should. Delete this. Now let me go back, give it a refresh, click this blank add doc. We will have this. Let me check here what we're getting. We're getting one doc. Okay, we're getting two docs basically. Why we're getting two docs? I still don't get it. So handle edit we are having in the edit doc. Okay, the thing is I think we are clicking the back button. That is why it is getting created two times. So okay, one sec, we have edit, handle edit, it is creating the payload, but in this case this should not work because this function is not getting called anywhere. What if I give it another try, delete this doc and just comment this out for now. So if I click plus here, okay, this will not redirect us to that page. But if I refresh this, we should have two documents because I clicked two times. Yes, see. So we can delete one. Okay, fine. So let me bring it back. So what we can do, come to the docs here, delete this as well and try once more. Click plus. We are on this page and we are now having one document. If I click back, we should have, okay, if I click back, what will happen is this function will again run. So what we can do is just make a use effect hook, but that will not work for us. So we can make a function here called create document, then pass the payload and create doc in here. Now when should we use it? Let's see. We should use it only when we click this. So if I just add on click handle edit and one second, handle edit comma this create document, one second. Handle edit is simply changing the this. I need two functions in here. So maybe make a callback here. This will run the function called handle edit and create document. Now this will be working fine. So if I delete this document, basically if I click back button, this will not run. This will only run when we click the image create. So if we click, go back, click plus, give it a refresh, we are having only one document, and if I click back button, we should have nothing. So it's now working fine. So what we can do now is, if we are on that page, let's say we click button here called blank and it will create a document here. Now when we type in here, we should have a edit function that will edit this document. So in the Firestore, let me replicate create doc and make edit doc. Now the same things will be here, but we don't need to have the display name because it is already saved. We just need the payload. So we need to have one thing called doc here to create the document instance. So we can select doc to edit doc. This will take things like the collection, which is the docs, and the current ID. So the ID we can get it from here, and we can pass, and we can have one more function called update doc. We can call update doc function while editing. So this will take, what it will take is not doc to edit, and then the payload and then the ID. So okay, argument of type value of string is not assignable to parameter of type string. So we need to call the function edit doc somewhere. So just have it here, edit doc with the payload. Make the function as edit doc and call it when we are having a debounced function. So the payload that we are having, one second, edit doc is not read, is not read. Okay, make this as edit document to avoid name clashes. Now edit doc, okay, this needs two arguments, the ID and the username, I mean the payload. So we need the ID. So we need to pass the ID when we are clicking the, so if we are here, yes, so what, before that we need to map through all the documents. So this is the page where we create any document. So if I come back, we have document, photo, URL and such. One second, in the document we are having this document, yes, this one, we have create doc. Let me make one component for all the documents listed here. So if I check Google Docs, come to the home page, you see we can have this kind of stuff like cards. So we can make a component here called docs list.ts, just the folder first, and then an index.tsx and one for styling, so index.scss. So make it a functional component and add docs list and then import the index.scss here. So import this file. Now yes, so in here we need to have a function first. So close this. So don't need React for now. Don't need it here as well. So we can just close the things we don't need. So save this for now because it will not throw any errors because it is TypeScript. It is just on the VS Code. So in the API Firestore, let me make a function to get all the data. So export const, we can say get docs. Let me have something called, we can say get docs. We don't need real-time data. Make this as get documents. We don't need real-time data, we just need to get data somehow because it is not real-time. So get docs we have, okay, this will take this docs collection name, that's all. Then we can have promise based call, then we can set response and we can make the response in the console. But if it fails, we can simply catch it, the error, and see the error in the console. This should be getting called in the doc list function. So import get document or documents, have an use effect hook here to run a function when it mounts. So in this, let me make a function called const get docs, which will be a function, arrow function. In here we can call get documents. Then we can simply call the function in the use effect hook called get docs. Complicated but fine. Now this function that we are having needs to be asynchronous. But first let's check what we're getting in the console in this page. Okay, but the thing is we have not imported this docs list in our docs, or not docs. In this we have create doc, I think here. No, not here. In document, yes, in here we have to import. So we can say import docs list, render it out here. Save, and we will have the data. Yes, it is coming here. Now let's map through it in the Firestore. So we can say response dot docs dot map. We can say single doc and return this doc. Now let's see what we're getting. We're getting two arrays. So in here we can say doc.data to filter the data from here. Now we're getting the values. So we are having this editDoc function. It is taking the ID. So we need to have the ID as well that we can pass to edit this. So wrap this in a object and destructure it. Then have one more property called ID, which will be doc.id, like this. Now we have to return this, so we can just return this response to the function. The thing is we don't need a semicolon here, and just don't have some spaces or enter in between. Now this will work just fine. So okay, this is not needed because we have added it. So we are getting a response from here, so we can get a response equals to this and just do a console.log of response, which will be undefined. That is because we need to make the function as async and then await this. Let me give it a refresh of this. Still it is undefined. That is because I think we can just remove this and then see. Okay, what if I make this as async and then await the get docs? No, it's still undefined. So I guess we're returning two things in here. So let me just return the response. And then see what happens. Still undefined this is. Okay, this should work. If I add an await here, we don't need to have these things. So it is returning us this. Okay, what if we don't do this? Instead, make this function as async, or let response equals to, okay, this will not work, or maybe it will. So let's give it a try. Return this response. Yes, that data we're having or we're getting that in the page here now. So we can just do response dot map and so on. So why don't I copy the response mapping from here? Just copy this, go forward, and replace response with that. Okay, the thing is response we are having. Let me check again. Let me say response dot docs cannot trade response dot docs is not a function. So just let me pass the response as an object like this. Okay, there is one more method that we can do this. Let me revert the things back to the way it was. Okay, like this. Fine. Let me make a state here called docs set docs equals to use state. This will be an array. So we will set the docs, or we will simply pass the set docs function in the get document function like this. So this will come in the get documents here, and we can simply set it here. So we don't need to have a return, just simply set the response in the set docs. We have to add the type here. Basically, let me just have an any type. Now we need to have this docs getting consoled here, but outside this get docs function. Save. Let me close this thing, and on line number 14 we're getting the data. Yes, fine. Now we have to map through this docs. So we can just do docs.map. Let's say single doc, and we can return some JSX, basically a card. So make one more div. In this div, we can have doc dot value, which is currently empty. Basically, we're not saying anything because let me add a question mark in case what is the issue. Value does not exist on type never. This should work. This should work. I don't know why it is not working. So I guess that is because it is empty. So one more thing that I can do is make an object in this array, and we can have username empty string, then the value empty as well. Now this error that we had will go away because we are starting with this state of docs with the value of username and the value of value. Fine. Now let's style them. So let me give this div a class name of doc card. So we have the CSS. Let's write it something in here. In the doc card, we can create a, what can we say, cards. So we can say width 300 pixels, height the same or maybe a little bit more, height let's say 400 pixels, background color let's say red. That's too much for us. Height should be not 440 maybe, or maybe 100. I think that's not fine. Let me use the styling. So in the create doc, we have start doc. We can just have this here. Let me add some height, say 300 pixels, but it is too much. Try 200. I think that's fine. So let me not have border. Let me have background color as something. So the color was BC BC BC. Add it. It is too much dark, make it this. Okay, we'll change it later. No issues. Close interfaces, close this for now. Close firestore.jsx or tsx, whatever. Now, this div should have a class name of doc or docs main. Now we have to copy, let me copy this class and add it at the top. Let me nest this class in here. So in the doc main, display will be flex. We can add gap of 10 pixels around them, and we can just make justify content center, but it is not in the center. So we need to do it like this. So if I come to the create doc again, display flex, and we have this specify content center. In the doc inner, we have width as 70%. So we can try this. 1 second, start doc. I think we can lead with that. Let me add margin top in the doc card as 20px. Yes. So the value is empty. If I check, okay, we also need one more thing called the title. Yes, how do I forget that? So we can add title basically. So before that, let me just have, okay, so what is happening is when we click any of the cards, we should be on that page of edit, or basically edit doc. Yes, this page using navigator from, okay, not navigate. That's a problem. How to do that? So let me do this. Let me see a way to do this. Or we can simply create routes for this using React Router. So this is the background color. I think we need to make them white and install the border radius. I mean border. So border 1px solid, this color. The border will change to this. It is too much light, so a little bit dark will work, but it is too much dark. So yes, I think this is fine. So we don't need border radius in here. What else? If I make it a little bit more, I think that's fine. Fine. So we can lead with that. Okay, so what I wanted to do is we need to go to the edit doc component when we click this specific document. So in the docs list, no, not here, in the create doc, not here, in this document we are having this docs list. In here, let me make a function here called open doc. So this function that we have, we will run, we will pass it as props in this docs list. So let me get it here, and when we click this document, we will run the function, and we will simply pass the ID of this document in the function. So we can say doc.id. Again, it is not existing. What is it? Username and this. So add the ID prop as here. Yes. Now it's fine. Now let me get the ID. I think this is a string. Then do a console log of the ID. First, let me do a type of this ID. Let's see if it is a string or a number. What issue that we are having here? Open doc, we have to add the type of open doc. So open doc, it is a function. So let me add type open doc type. We'll have open doc. So it is not a function. Basically, if I add open doc is a function, so we can just say yes, void. Then add this as props. Yes, no errors. Oh, no, we have errors. The ID should be in here, I guess. So make a string here. Yes, it is fixed. I am learning TypeScript. I am getting better. So let's check. Yes, open the console. Let me click any document. Yes, it is a string, so it was fine. So just remove the type of, and we'll get the ID of the current document when we click it. Now we need to pass this ID. Okay, what should we do is we have top bar, we have create doc. So let me open create doc here. In here we are having a state called isEdit and handle edit function. Let me move this in this document. So the state should be on the top. So let me move it. We need the use state and use effect hook. I mean basically use state hook from React, not the effect hook. Use state from React. Now when we are setting, what is happening here is yes. Let him pass them as props. So we can pass handle edit in the create doc as well as isEdit. So let me get them here called handle isEdit and handle edit. So remove use from here. We will have some issues. Let me type or add the type for this. We can say isEdit type. So the isEdit type, what is the type of isEdit? isEdit, this is a boolean. So we can say isEdit, they should be boolean here. Now the second thing is called handle edit, which is a function basically. So make it like a void. Now no errors is here or are here. So let me think for a second what we have to do. So when we're clicking this open doc, I mean we're clicking this card, we should be setting this to false. So we can set this to false. And what about the ID? What we can do with this ID? So what we can do is create one more state called ID set ID equals to use state, say empty string. Set the ID in the open doc, or yes, open doc function as this, and pass the ID in the, where should we pass it? ID. Let me get the ID here. So the ID that we are having, this is a string. So add the type here. Now the ID is here. It should have been so much better if I have been using React router. So save this file. Let me just do a ID console log. So click any document. We are on this page and we are saying these two stuff. This is not proper. What is this, man? Doc list. Create doc blank. Okay, one more thing I forgot to do is we need to render this conditionally. So if when isEdit is true, we have to show nothing else. Show this when it is false. Now click it. Let me refresh the page. Click this. We are on this edit page with the ID like here, line number 19. Fine. Now we have to pass the ID further in here. So we can just close this and what we can do is when we type, I mean if this is true, We are loading this page. So what is the issue? In the edit doc, let me get to the edit doc function. Close these things. Edit doc here. So here let me get the ID. But the problem is edit doc. Okay. ID is not assignable to. Okay, we have to add the type in the function interface as well. Let's give it a search. ID as a string. See, it works. So now that we have ID here, this will work. So if I type anything here, this current post will be edited. So let's see, we have two posts, and let me just click any one of them, like this post, the first post. Let me type something here called I am Nishant. Let's wait for some time and see if it comes here or not. If I check this one, yes, it is coming in here. Now this is the value that we're getting. So we can show the value here, but we need the title as well. So if you open the Google Docs, any document, let's say this, my novel, at the top we have the title in input, so we can create it. So bi arrow back we have. Let me make it after this. Make an input field here with the placeholder of, let's say, what is this say? It is untitled initially, so make untitled. Save this. This will be here. Let me give a styling here. So class name, we can say title input. Now we have to copy title input, come to this index file. We can simply design this here. So make it here, and we can say background color as white. Fine. So we need to make this on the left. So we can just do position absolute, left 20 px, say top, or not top, say margin top 40 px. This is here. Let me add margin bottom, say 30 px, but it will not work because it is absolute. And instead, in the quick container, we can just add margin top as 100. Okay, 1 sec. 60 to be 80. Yes, that's fine. And let's make this title input margin top 40. Let's try 60. Increase it to 100 here. Yes, I think that's fine. Left should be, let's say, 50 px. Yes, it is here. Now let me just hide the outline of this. So outline, which will be none. Border none as well. Border none. We have this input where we can type. So the color will be black, or not black entirely, 212121. Save. We can type our title in here. But the background color should be not white. They should be something that we are having in here. So if I remove background color as white, okay, this will turn black. What about transparent? Yes, that is fine. So let me have a state here called title. Set title. Use state, say an empty string. So when we type in this input, say on change, we can have title here, or we can set title as event.target.value. The event will come in the callback like this, which will basically set our title. Let me also add a value which is title. Now when we, let's say we type something in here, let's say the title is sample, and we type something in here called hello. Let's see, after 2 seconds they are empty, but it is now coming. Now if I change the title here, let's say sample doc. We will see no change here because this value prop, I mean title state, is not in the dependency array. So let's add that as well. So when we change the value or title, it will change. So we can just have sample docs cut and paste, and then we will see title here. Or if I make sample document, this will be here after 2 seconds saved. If I change this hello, this is a sample document or doc, this will be here after 2 seconds. Now if I go back, let me come to the, okay, edit doc is done, I guess, for us for now. Now come to this page, docs list. In the docs list, or yes, doc list, what we have to do, not show the value, show the title, which is sample document. Then also add the title in the docs as an empty string. Sample document, and this has no ID, or I mean no title, so it is empty. Now we have to arrange it. So come back to this page, and we have to like make them or make it in at the bottom. So basically wrap this in a p tag. Say this is the title, so class name title, or basically doc title. Let me copy this doc title, come to this class name, and here we can say position absolute, bottom 0px, or even 10 will work. Okay, so if we're doing this, it is inside the doc card, so yes, this should be relative. We can set text align as center in here. This will not work, so we can say left 50%, transform translate minus 50% minus 50%. It is now in the center, but the bottom should be like 5 or 4px, something like this. Or if I make this 50% as well, this will stick in the center or at the top. Maybe not 20, top 10 top, yes. So okay, I guess we leave it at bottom, set 10 pixels, or 5 will work. If I make it 0, fine. What if I remove it entirely? This will not work, but I think that's fine. So the okay, if you see the width is a little bit more than this, so make the width as 200. Then the height as well, say 250. If I now check, the height is bigger. Let me change the font size to say 15px in here. Doc title we have p. Okay, what about not font size, not font? Yes, it is now smaller, but the thing is title sample document we are having. What if I make width to 50? Okay, it is coming on different lines, and I don't want that. What if I remove this kind of stuff and see what happens? Okay, now it's coming. So basically width should be 100% in here. Now it is coming fine. If I do this, the left is like this. Now if I add text align center, it is now in the center. Yes, it is working fine. So we also have the, okay, if I check, we also have the document what we can say, the content. So we can just have one more p tag here, and this will be doc content, and in the place of doc content we will place the value here. So this will be having the value, but the thing is it is inner HTML with the p tags and all, so we cannot use it like this. So we can simply do dangerously set inner HTML. So the doc content should be here, and we can change the font size as same, which is 15 pixels. Make text align as center, and say width should be 40 or 50 px. It is too small, so make 150. Okay, what about the width in here? Oh, this will not be proper. So remove width from here, and I guess just need to add some padding. So 20 px. Now this looks fine. So we are having this document in here, and we can just make 20 0 or 0 20 shorthand to make it at the top, just to show the initial document, we can say contents. So we can also use, okay, we have to trim it. So what is the function called trimming a or cutting a string? So we can say limit a string length JavaScript. We means truncate it. Let me change this, whatever it is. So we can say substring dot limit, wrap this dot value in a curly bracket, and say, one second, I am doing it wrong. This should be here, like string dot substring 0, I mean from 0 and till the limit. So let's say 100 characters. Save, and yes, it is fine. Let me have some lorem ipsum text, or even just let me have this thing. Let me just copy a paragraph, simply edit this, paste it here. Let's see the Firestore. What do we have in there? Google Docs clone. What we can do is just come to Cloud Firestore, check the document for the first one, this one. Yes, we are getting this background and title is empty. If I come back, the title should not be empty. That is what we are filling in here. So title from docs, okay, we are mapping through it. So if I open the edit doc page, we are having the payload. Okay, I am getting the ID as well. So why don't I pass not just the ID but the entire document, so that we can simply edit it? So in the open doc, where is it? Open doc function. Open doc is here. Yes, we are passing the doc, so it is coming from props. So open doc, let me search globally. So it is basically here. So we need the ID. Yes. So if I just, what is I'm doing? So we need the ID, doc.value and doc.title. So in its prop, which is open doc, let me add the value as string, then the title as string as well. So we are passing three things: in here. So ID we are having, let's add the value as string, and then we can add the title as string as well. Fine. Let me create an object here called, we can say, doc data. Set doc data equals to use state empty object. So in the function of open doc, we can simply set like the value comma the title. So let me pass the open doc as props to this create doc. But the thing is, in the create doc, let me open that create doc. We are having, okay, we have to get it as props. So let me get it. So this create doc that, or this doc data that we are having, it is an object. So we can say object. So save this. We are having the doc data. So what we need is to pass it further in this edit doc. Now in the edit doc, one second, we are having an issue somewhere in the create doc. So if I hover this, okay, it is in the edit doc. So if I open edit doc, here we are getting, what happened, we need to have this here, doc data. So we have an error. What is this error? The type should be somewhere. So it does not exist on type of function interface. So open that interface in the interface dot index dot scss. So add this doc data, make it an object. Now we can simply use it. So what should happen is, let me just do a console log here. When we click it, the value in title is empty. Let me title this to be title 1. Save. Okay, it is coming as empty. Doc data. Let me come back to the edit doc. One second. I mean, in create doc, we are having this kind of stuff. If I come back, this is title 1. Go back, and yes, we are doing the things that we need to do. It's fine. So in the edit doc, we are simply consoling the doc data, and it is giving us the title. So we'll say doc title, and we need to set the title as this when we mount our page. So we can just have this use effect hook in here. We can simply set it like this, but it is not existing on title of doc data. So where is the doc data? It is in the create doc. No, maybe in document. Here it is, and make it as an empty string for now. But we need the value as well, because it is there also an empty string. Now we need, what is the problem? Maybe what we can do is have a value as a string, then we can have, what else we can have, title as a string as well. So just make them as a string. Fine, it's now working. So what if I remove these from here? Okay, I think they should be here in the interface. Fine. So errors are now gone away. Now if I click this, let me add a title here called hello. Hello. Now click back. It is hello. Now when we are having this edit doc, we are having this payload as value and title. Fine. Then we're passing in the edit doc. Let me open that function. It is taking the payload. Okay, not edit doc. What is the function name? Edit document. Yes, it is edit doc. Here we are having the payload, but the thing is payload type. Okay, we are having the ID. What is this? Okay, the payload. Yes, the payload is having the type of. I mean, we have the value and the title, which is a string as well. ID has any type, so make this ID type as a string. What about this payload? Make this type as any. For now, I think you can find it. What is the issue with this type? That is different in our case. So yes, if I edit this, 1 second. Yes, so if I click this, if the function runs of edit doc, we will have this title. So if I am coming here, okay, one more thing I have to do is we are having this ID in the document. See, according to this, we can get the data for the current document and simply place it here. So in that case, we don't need the value and the title. So we can just make a function here called const get current doc. So let me make a function here. Close this in the Firestore. I mean get current doc. This will take an ID, not the payload. So just change it. So we need to get doc to get, which will take the docs and the ID. Fine. So basically we need to call a single doc that we have to import from Firestore. Yes, that is it. Working fine. Now we can simply console the response, nothing else. So we can call this function, which is called get current doc, import get current doc from Firestore API, and simply call the function. The thing is, this should be get current document, and yes, we have to pass the ID. So pass it. Now when should we run the function? When we load this page using use effect. Okay, this be here? No, this should not be here. So this should be in the create doc or in the doc list. Maybe in the create doc. So come to create doc page. Let me have the function name which is called get current doc, or maybe not here in the edit function that we have to be. So close this, go to edit doc function, I mean the component. So we can have get current doc. So in the use effect hook, we can simply call the function called get current doc as we pass the ID, this ID. This should be in a separate function, so make it called const get current document like this, and then call the function here. This function will be run. This function will run when our component mounts like this. So we need a function for setting the data. So we can say const current document set current document use state an object. So let me save these things first. Fine. We don't need this here. Now if I click this document, we are getting the data in the Firestore here. So basically we have to get the data from here. So we can simply do response.docs, I guess. No, not docs, I think data. Yes. Yes, we are getting them. The title and the username. Now we have to have a setter function called set current document. Let's pass it in the function of get current doc. So we can have it here. Set it like this. One second. So also need a type here. So set docs should be any type. Fine. Now the data will be in the current document, and we can just have the input value, or we can, let me show you first, do a console log of this. I think if we're doing this, do we need value and the title? Because I mean we're getting it. Handle edit, where are we getting the payload? One second. I think payload is having the value and title. We are setting it here. Fine. Okay, let me just try this. Go back, click this document hello, and the title will be here. See, if I change it to hello world, this will be saved. Now if I go back, it's hello world, come again, and it is still hello world. Go back, it's still hello world, and come here, it will be hello world. Now this is for the title. So what about this one, which is the quill? So when we mount, like in here, we are calling this function get doc. So okay, we need the, one second, we are having title, we are having the value. So if I go back and come in here, we are having this value is empty. So let me type something called hello, this is Nishant. If I now go back, we will have hello, this is Nishant. Come in here, but the thing is the value is getting disappeared. So what we gotta do is, this is the value that we are having, the state, we have set value, we are setting it only here, but we need to set it somewhere when we mount. So we can set value as doc data dot value. Doc data is basically coming from prop, but we can just replace doc data with the title, I mean with the current document. So the current document should have a title, an empty string, and a value also empty. So if we're doing this, then we don't need doc data, so remove it. If we have removed doc data, we have to remove this from the props as well, or anywhere else that we had that. So don't need this type, don't need this here. One second. Yes, we do need it. We just don't need to pass it as props in the create doc. Or one second, doc data is having the value and title, we are passing it in the create doc. Fine, open the create doc, the payload should be value, so title will be also here, so add them. Now don't need doc data in the edit component. So if I open the edit doc, one sec, handle edit, I guess that is the type. name. Here we don't need doc data. Similarly, handle edit, don't need this here in create doc. So the payload will be this. If I have to remove doc data, so let's remove it. Removed. We don't need the state and we don't need to set it here as well. So remove this as well. So open doc value and title is unused, so remove them. Now in the create doc we have an issue in the edit doc. Let me check all the issues. Basically in edit doc we have doc data is declared here, so remove this. We have removed it. So this payload is having title and the value. 1 second, sorry. Title is string and the value is string as well, but I don't get this error. Payload is declared here. Is not assignable to parameter of type payload type title, title string and value string. So this is different. We have payload which is an object, and that is, I think, is the issue. Let me open this file. We have the payload. Maybe just add them like this. Yes, now we have no errors because we don't need an object, we just need this. Now close this, and we don't. Okay, let me just try this. If I open, one sec, if I open this document, it is empty. Let me type something called hello and something here called test. Now come back and we have test and hello. So go back. Okay, it is not getting set it here properly. In the, we can just have it in the edit doc here. So we are having the current document title and the username and the value. Yes, so we have to use current document dot value, I mean in here, but we are doing it. I guess it is not working. So we can skip creating the states, but the thing is we can't set it like this. So when it mounts, it will set it the title and the value, but it is not setting. So we can go back, it will be empty. If I come back, we can say hello and say test in here. Let's wait and go back, it will be saved. Come again, we're having the value on line number 43. The thing is, if the title exists, the title, set title, this should work. Current document. What we can do is make a use effect hook, one more effect hook, set it here when the current document changes. Now if I go back, write something called test and sample. Now if I go back here, come inside, we are getting it. Now if I go back again, come inside again, it is still here. Fine, so it is working. Now let me try to have the title here as the test. Let me make this on the left. So where is the, yes, here. Size should be size 4. Leave the rest of the things. Let me add a paragraph like this. The thing is, this should not be have the color, make it purely white. I just stood there and this, fine. Let me have title in here as well. Now go back, the title will be here with the data. So 1 sec, we are having this thing truncating somewhere in the document page. So if I come back to where the document page, no, not here, we can say create doc, and this doc list, I had a component here, substring 0 to 100. It is in the p of dog.value. Then we have title here. So what if I remove this? This will be like this. If I make this as 200, we can simply say this. We can simply add 2 dots. Before adding 2 dots, we can make sure that this is an template literal as a variable. Now we can add it 2 dots here. Let's make this to 150. Or I think 200 is fine. We just need to style this a little bit more. So in the doc content, let me search this. We're having font size 14. Padding, let's make 20. I mean 0 and 10. Or 20 will be fine, but the thing is, we need to shift it on the top. So we can say margin top 0. Okay, it will not work. So I think that's fine. Okay. Let me not have the 2 dots here. Remove it. If I click it again, our data will be here with all the things that we had. For example, we had bold, so it is here. We had size 4, it is here as well. So it works. If I go back, we will see the documents. If I create one more here, so let's make this as sample 2. Let me have this as hello friend. Now go back and it will be saved. We have the blank document that we can use to create. Okay, the thing is, when we click create here, this should be empty. So let me come to the, let me click this hello friend. The data will be here. Now let me create one and it will be here. So we have to clear every time we go to the home page. So what we can do is just clear the state of the docs, not the docs. Come to edit docs. We are having the current document. Just set current document. So yes, in the use of webhook, when we go back or when we unmount, we can simply call the cleanup function, setting the title as an empty string and the value as well. Now we can give it a try. Let me try. First, let me delete the empty document. This has been deleted. Let me delete this one as well. Now, what else? This one, yes. This was empty as well. This has been deleted. Now, if I refresh, we will have only 2 docs. Click it. Okay, this is a problem. Go back and it will be empty. So let me just think what we can do. Let me do hello and sample in here. Now go back. We will have only hello. So we can set sample. I think I moved back too soon. We have sample and hello. Create one more. Okay, we have to delete the current document. When, okay, get current document. So this is when we are loading it. So what we can do is, what we can do, if I just move them here, what will happen when we simply load it on the mount? Now if I go back, let's say click again, we have hello and sample, click an empty document. Now go back, click this, it is coming, click it, it is empty. Now let me click this. Now click plus. It's still coming. So how to fix this? What we can do is not or we can create a document only when the value and the title is not empty or the value is not empty. So we can simply have the edit doc or no, not edit doc, add doc. So where is add doc? Let me search in the Firestore functions first. Oh yeah, I'm in create doc. Search for it. It is getting imported here. Yes, so this will create the document. We don't need to create a document when our payload title, this title is empty. Okay. So what if I add a title of untitled for initial loading title? So let me delete these things here. So delete this document, then this as well, because they're empty. Now if I give it a refresh here, so basically I am clicking this sample, so the title and the text is coming in here. If I'm going back, it is not changing. Then I am clicking this edit, this create doc. So doc list, let me just find. Okay, we have this create doc function. One second, I'm clicking this. So basically edit doc is running in that case as well. So okay, we have title here. What can we do to fix it? This is not working, so we can just do this or remove this. What we can do is clear out. It is still empty. So when we are clicking the back button, so for example, if we click the back button, we can clear out the state. Fine, that is correct. Yes. So on handle edit, where is the function? Let's search handle edit. This is here. Okay, we can simply clear it, but it is like not here. So I guess that's fine for now. So if I click this, we will have hello and sample. If I click this one, we will have the title and the name here. So that is how we create a Google Docs clone. A simple Google Docs clone using React, Firebase, TypeScript, and other things as well.